Hey guys, how are you? I'm gonna do something a little different today. Hope you can hear me. My AC is blaring because it's pretty hot down here in Georgia. Yeah, I can come on here and say the hour's short, and everybody knows all that. I think for the most part, we're coming near to the end. As I was driving to my coffee shop here that I go to, I was just moved by the Holy Spirit to share something. Just something I've kept to myself that's been personal to me, that has just kept me going through this walk. And I normally don't do videos like this because I just want God to have the glory and leave it at that, and it's kind of personal. As most of you know, I was a cop, or I am, and when you first become a deputy sheriff, at least down where I live here, they start you off in the jail because it's like the lowest position, and you work in the jail. I was 22 years in the Army. I'd worked my way clear up the ranks, and to start off in a jail was humbling, but I enjoyed it. In fact, I'd love to go back to it, to be honest with you, but God he had different plans, and he put me on the road as a deputy. But I worked in the jail, and I loved working in the jail because I loved working with the inmates. I loved joking with them, having fun with them, talking to them about the Lord, just sharing, my experiences and hearing their experiences and their outlook and their concerns. And yes, some were, irritable or whatever, but 90% of them just had a heart of gold. And are just lost, they're just lost, and they're in this cycle of sin, and they're in this cycle of pain, and it broke my heart, Well, I was leaving work one day. And an inmate was being released who had been there several months. And we live in a very, Georgia, where I live, was like the hub of the Ku Klux Klan at one point. And it's got a very nasty heritage for Ku Klux Klan marches on the streets and rioting and different things. And this happened to be a black inmate who I had talked to and befriended in the jail. And he was getting released at the same time I was coming off of work. And he was walking, and I was like, "Hey, where are you heading to?" And he's like, "I'm gonna walk to Atlanta," and I'm like 40 miles away from Atlanta. I'm like, "No." I was like, "I'll give you a ride. Where do you gotta go?" And so he jumped in the car. He's like, "Wow, really? I can't believe a cop is doing this." And I'm like, "Yeah. I just want to, where you need to go." And I took him down to the station, the train stop, which, was a good distance away, half the distance to Atlanta. And I can't remember if I gave him any money. I don't know. It's irrelevant. But I said goodbye to him, and he handed something to me. And I'm going to show this to you. And it's most people would look at this and be like, "What?" This little rubber blue band. It's all this guy had. He had nothing coming out of jail, except the clothes on his back and whatever he brought with him, which is probably nothing. But it's just a Wells Fargo rubber bracelet. I mean, normal people would probably throw this away and just, be done with it. I put it on my rearview mirror in my truck to just remind me that, first off, we are no better than anybody else on this planet. And to always remember to be an ambassador for Christ. Every person I engage, whether I'm as a deputy or as going into this coffee shop, I treat them as Jesus is watching me on how I treat them. And I keep in the foremost on my mind that we are all lost. We are all on the same sinking ship. And we are all brothers and sisters. We all came from one place. We all came from heaven to this place to serve and to learn and to grow and to mature, and to learn how to love. And that's the bottom line. I just wanted to share that with you. it just, every time I look at it, I think of him. I can't remember his name. I wish I did. But he was a homeless guy. He had nothing. And he gave me, something that he held, that he obviously had with him in jail, that he held dear to him. And so just keep that in your mind of love. And that's what it's all about. All the information and all the wonderful passages and puzzles and beautiful things that he shows us in his word, to keep our faith strong and to solidify us and to realize that he is God. The Bible codes and wonderful wisdom, and believe me, I love all of it. It all comes down to that. It all comes down to love. It all comes down to what you would do for your fellow man and or sister. I love you guys, and God bless you, and I hope this blesses your hearts.